From Meghalaya, his name was Yuthlin. He was a demon serpent, vast, ancient, hungry for human blood. In the Khasi hills of Meghalaya, where the monsoon breaks against pine-covered ridges and the living root bridges of Cherrapunji span streams older than any road, the elders tell a story about a creature that once lived beneath the earth. His name was Yuthlin. In Khasi, Yu is the masculine article and Tlen means serpent. Yuthlin was not an ordinary snake. He was a demon serpent, vast, ancient, hungry for human blood. The Khasi people, who have lived in these hills since before recorded history, who built a society where property passes through women and clan names follow the mother, did not always live free of fear. There was a time, the story says, when Yuthlin controlled certain families. He lived in the foundations of their houses. He spoke to them in dreams. And he demanded, at intervals, a human sacrifice, a victim chosen from outside the clan, kidnapped on a lonely path, killed in secret, and fed to the serpent so that he would grant the family wealth. The folklore is specific about how the bargain worked. A poor Khasi family, desperate beyond endurance, would perform a ritual at a lonely spot, a crossroads, a cave mouth, a fallen tree in deep forest. They would call on Yuthlin. The serpent would come in the dark. He would offer a trade, I will make you rich. Gold will appear in your granary. Cattle will multiply. Your enemies will sicken and die. In return, you will feed me. You will bring me a human being, a traveler, a child from another clan, anyone who will not be missed quickly, and you will let me drink. The family that accepted became what the Khasi called Tlen worshippers. They looked like ordinary villagers. They farmed. They attended market. They married and had children. But beneath the house, in a sealed chamber or a hollow beneath the hearth, Yuthlin called and waited. And when the hunger came, the folklore says the hunger came every few years, they hunted. The Khasi communities developed signs. A Tlen family was too prosperous for its visible labor. Its members avoided certain sacred groves. They would not eat food cooked at a clan funeral. Children in the village were taught a rhyme, if a stranger offers you rice beer on a forest path at dusk, do not drink. If a rich man's wife invites you to help carry firewood alone, refuse. The signs were not always reliable. Innocent wealthy families were suspected. Guilty families hid their wealth carefully. But the fear was real. British colonial administrators in the 19th century recorded Khasi elders speaking of Yuthlin with genuine terror, not as a quaint folktale but as a living memory of crimes that had happened within living generations. Hamlet Bare, the Khasi historian, wrote that the Tlen cult was, in part, a folk explanation for unexplained disappearances on the hill paths, and in part, a moral framework for condemning greed that profited from murder. Every telling of the Yuthlin story eventually reaches a hero. In some versions, he is a wandering bard named Yusuidno. In others, he is a warrior from the Siams, the Khasi chieftain's household. In still others, he is simply a poor man whom Yuthlin tried to recruit and who said no. The hero's virtue is refusal. The serpent comes to him at night, as he sleeps in a forest camp, and offers the same bargain, wealth for blood. The hero says, I am poor. I will remain poor. I will not buy gold with another person's life. Yuthlin, enraged, attacks. The hero fights, not always with a sword, sometimes with fire, sometimes with the help of clan elders who know the old protective chants. The battle is underground. The serpent's lair is beneath a wealthy family's house. The hero breaks in. He finds the chamber. He finds the bones. The destruction of Yuthlin is always violent. The hero burns the serpent. Or he cuts the serpent into pieces and salts the pieces so they cannot rejoin. Or he calls the entire clan to witness and drags the serpent into sunlight, because the folklore is clear, Yuthlin cannot survive exposure to the sun. When the serpent dies, the wealthy family that housed him loses everything overnight. Their cattle die. Their gold turns to black stone. Their crops fail for 7 years. The clan banishes them. Their house is torn down and the foundation is scorched so nothing can live there again. This part of the story serves as justice and as warning. The Khasi moral is not subtle: wealth gained from murder will be taken back. The earth remembers what was fed to Yuthlin. Shillong, the capital of Meghalaya, spreads across hills that the Khasi once considered edgelands, places where the clans met and traded but did not always trust. Some older Khasi families in Shillong still will not build basements. They say the earth beneath the city is layered with old bargains. Whether this is literal belief or metaphor varies family to family. What is consistent is the cultural memory. Yuthlin appears in Khasi poetry, in school textbooks, in the cautionary tales mothers tell before sending children to market alone. The serpent is Meghalaya's folk villain, not an imported Hindu demon but a creature born from Khasi understanding of what greed does to a community that values clan loyalty and collective survival above individual fortune. Anthropologists who studied the Yuthlin legend in the 20th century offered interpretations the village elders sometimes accepted and sometimes rejected. They said Yuthlin might encode memory of an actual secret cult, perhaps pre-Christian, perhaps surviving into recent centuries, that practiced human sacrifice. They said the serpent might be a metaphor for the British tea planters and contractors who extracted Khasi labor and land without regard for Khasi law. They said the story might simply be a horror tale, the kind every culture tells its children to keep them close to the fire at night. The Khasi elders tended to agree with the last interpretation least. They said, the story is about what happens when one family wants more than the clan can fairly give. Yuthlin is greed with a mouth. The hills are still here. The serpent, they insist, is gone. But they teach the children anyway. Meghalaya today is known for its music, its matrilineal society, its living root bridges, its rainfall records. Tourists visit Cherrapunji and Molenong and dance at Nongkrem festivals. The Yuthlin story is not on the tourist brochures. It is told in Khasi, in Garo variants, in the oral curriculum of a people who survived in these hills by sharing everything: land, labor, responsibility, and who built their folklore to punish anyone who tried to take too much alone. When a Khasi writer names a villain Yuthlin in a modern novel, every Khasi reader understands immediately, this is someone who profits from others' deaths. The serpent beneath the hearth is gone. The warning remains. Meghalaya remembers what lived under the floor. Tomorrow's story comes from another corner of India. Subscribe to walk with us through the folklore of every region, in your language.